How we doing today? Monday, no news, no real news. A just sloppy, sloppy morning. So really, not an incredible amount to talk about, but I think I think the title of the video is going to be something along the lines of, "Are you a trader or are you a gambler?" Because that was the main reflection point I kind of had in today's price action, watching price, right? I came into the day and I took a look at the economic calendar, and we have technically red folder news, but nothing crazy. And when we notice price action, this is the 5 minute chart. If you look at this, identify the conditions you are looking at, right? Also, if we zoom out on the time frames, right, we have no real basis of direction or trend continuation. The hypothesis would be that we are going higher to this high here, but since ES has already taken out all-time highs, it makes it a little bit trickier. Maybe we chop around a little bit, but also on top of that, we have no real displacement. This displacement gets invalidated because we did not hold this fair value gap. So now we are just in this accumulation zone right here, just chopping. So on the bigger time frame, we're still just accumulating and just chopping around in this area. So when I come into a day like this, regardless of where I think price is going to go for the week, which is higher, or maybe even the day, right, you have to look at this overnight leg. There's no fair value gaps on the higher time frame. We have a bearish fair value gap here, right, this 1 hour. But unless we get some type of price structure out of it, then that's really irrelevant. And then when you look at the 5 minute, right, we have no fair value gap, like no clear, obvious. We don't have any clear and obvious liquidity sweep, right? We don't have any, right? If we took out this high or this high and have a liquidity sweep and then break structure to the downside and start creating fair value gaps in the opposite direction, that would also give you something to frame a bias. So the point of me titling the video, "Are you a trader or are you a gambler?" is because today I recognized conditions and did a good job at recognizing conditions. And I saw two trades. And I know you guys are going to say, "What do you mean you saw two trades? How could you find anything during this price action?" And I agree with you. So I want to go over what I saw and why I took them on paper, right? And the paper account is down $400. Again, it's paper for a reason. I didn't take it on my actual eval for a reason, and I'll go over those reasons, which is kind of obvious in the price action. But I just want to kind of go over why these trades, I took them and why they didn't work and why that's fine, right? The first trade I took, right, was this inverse fair value gap right here. And the reason being was just price signature, right? The reason being was that we had the first fair value gap of the day. We inversed it. We came down, held it. And we even came down again and held consequent encroachment really strong with a really nice wick. So when this gets a close above, I can enter off of that. And obviously we chop around and never hits the break even or take profit and then dumps. And that was the first trade. Again, I took it on practice because why would I take this on my actual account? We haven't swept any lows, any liquidity besides this random overnight 7 a.m. low, right? We're not delivering from anything other than a new week opening gap. We're not delivering from a higher time frame imbalance, anything like that. We haven't. We're not in a market maker buy model or sell model very clearly. It's a Monday. There's a lot of considerations that made me not take that trade, which is obviously a good thing. But I decided, you know what, it's good enough for a paper trade to just, kind of just ease your mind of that you're not taking a setup, even though you know it's not good, but it just allows you to practice reading price, because I still did think this high was going to be taken out. I thought that was the draw on liquidity, but I obviously wasn't going to risk an actual trade. But what was curious about this setup was when I got this green candle and this candle came in above, I had a little bit, or when we held this fair value gap here and we started pushing up and got this move up here, I had a little bit of not FOMO, but a little bit of oh man, I wish I would have been in that trade on my actual account and then made some profit off of it. So that's why I'm titling this video that, is because recognizing when and when not, you're just results oriented. And if anyone plays poker, then you'll hear the term, I think I would, or you'll hear someone say, I think I was just being results oriented, right? So if this trade would have played out, and this trade I would have taken on paper, and it would have hit TP1, hit the buy side liquidity, hit previous day's high, or at this point 2 days ago high, then I would, if I was results oriented, I would say I should have taken that trade. That was a good setup. I should have been in that trade. It was good, right? So being results oriented in trading is a bad thing, just as it is in poker, because in poker it's basically like saying, results wise, maybe someone makes a really big bet, and then you decide to make a fold based on the story they were telling you. You fold your hand, and they flip over a weak. Let's say they have like middle pair or something, and you had a two pair or something. But based on their line of action, they chose to, your decision was influenced, and you made a good laydown, right? When you see that they just had a middle pair or something bad, you would think results oriented wise and be like, man, that was not a good fold. Or the opposite, you make a call where you maybe shouldn't have made a call, and then results wise it worked, and then you think, okay, that's good. It's kind of like building false conviction, just because of a sample size that doesn't normally work, or doesn't normally have to work, or is not very high probability works out in the moment. So being results oriented will tell you, oh, that was good, because you get rewarded for what you did. Or you would have seen it work out, right? You make a big laydown and it ends up being wrong. You remember, oh, I could have made money. So results oriented wise, I made a bad decision. Same thing in trading. When you see a trade that's not that good, right? If this trade did work out, it would make sense, but it wouldn't be worth actually taking live capital and putting it on the line. But if it does play out, then you'd be results oriented if you focus on the habit of, wow, I wish I was in that trade. And that's one of the things I really want to move past, because the second trade I saw, again, that I had no intentions of ever taking in my actual account. We sweep out this high here, and we inverse this 1 minute. We have all these lows stacked here. The reason why this is not a good trade is just all the other things considered, right? We have really, really choppy price action. So why do I think that this one minute imbalance is going to be the catalyst that dumps lower, right? This thing could have closed here and then just ripped lower. Very well could have. But when you have to take in consideration the day or the week, the price action, the news, all of that, you have to understand when and when not to be putting on risk, because you have to know when something is probable or not. And in these conditions here, this 5 minute, we haven't even made a single 5 minute imbalance today, right? When price action is clean and clear, it will be easy to trade. It'll make sense. The setup will come to you. You won't be having to squint your eyes and read between the lines, right? These setups here, and again, I didn't take them. I took them on paper, so I'm not like, I don't want you guys to think like I thought the setup was like perfect. I was really just doing it more out of just, I'm on paper. Let me just test this idea, and let me just practice managing the position and just watch how price develops, right? It was not, oh, this is a good trade, I'm just scared to take it on my actual account. I would never take this trade on my actual account, but I honestly, sometimes on these types of days, I invite failure, because it reinforces that what I'm doing with not taking the trade is good, right? So this trade, when it fails, it's nice, because it reinforces the fact that this is not a good setup because of the price action, the day of the week, and all of that stuff, right? So days like today get tough because they really start testing if you are a trader or a gambler. And a trader is someone that can recognize conditions, can accept risk, can take losses, can do all the proper things that they're supposed to do, even when the days are not easy. A gambler looks at today's price action and doesn't even realize that they shouldn't be taking losses, depending on your setup, right? I would be very surprised if anyone could come into my comments and say, because at the time of recording, it's about to be 11 a.m. If you trade ICT concepts and you come in and tell me that you found an amazing setup before 11, right, at the time of this recording, and you say that I'm wrong, whatever, first of all, maybe you're right. Maybe you did have a great setup. Second of all, I don't think that you did, if I'm just being honest. And again, I'm not the master of these markets, and I'm not, the one that can control if you have a good setup or bad setup. But I would be very, very skeptical of anyone telling me that they took a trade and had high conviction and yeah, I'd be very skeptical if someone came in and told me that they found a great winning trade today because X, Y, Z, and I would tell you you're being results oriented if it won. And I would say you definitely should learn from this type of price action if you lost a trade because, yeah, this is the hardest part with trading for me, in my opinion, is that I want to get to the next level with trading. I want to make money. I want to do all these things. So it takes a lot more discipline than you might imagine to sit on the sidelines today. For me, there was every part of me that was hoping today I would come in and find a winning trade. But when price starts developing and I see this price action, I know I'm not getting a trade today. And that is perfectly fine because there's always going to be tomorrow. There's always going to be the next day and the next day and the next day, and there's next week, next month, next year. There's never going to be a time where you're never going to find a trade again, right? How many times do we see a day like this? It's frustrating. Maybe you take 1 or 2 losses, and then the next day is great. And then you're like, why did I get chopped up the day before? Or during this day, maybe you get 2 days in a row, and you're like, man, will price action ever be good again? Will I ever see an A+ setup? Will we ever get what I want? All these different things, and the truth is that you will, right? You will find a good day of price action. You will find trades, right? Friday was kind of mid. I believe Friday was pretty mid in price action, in my opinion, right? Not saying that you couldn't find trades. But what did we have? We had I think this was the day. Yeah, we had a fantastic day on Thursday. Thursday was a fantastic session. Look at how much different price action runs off open on the 5-minute here. Look how much better price ran on Thursday, right? Let's find even on Friday. Price action ran so much better on Friday. Price action ran on Friday a lot better. Even on FOMC day before the market, right? This is the kind of chop we got. And where's 11? But even at 11, we were still starting to make better runs, right? With the 5-minute. What other day did we have here? We had good price action. See, this isn't even bad. This is better price action than even today, right? We have a lot of chop through here, but we have a fair value gap that we're holding, and we have clear targets on liquidity, right? And we're delivering. This was a 1-hour imbalance. We're delivering from proper higher time frame PD arrays. So the market is just, there's always going to be better days if you're in a choppy day, if you're not really sure where price wants to go. When you look at this looks like we're still in the overnight session. It looks like we have not gotten out of the overnight session, and that is an automatic sign for me to know not to take a trade. And that's the biggest piece that's hard to deal with because it is very, very difficult to accept that. Even if you know in your mind, I probably shouldn't take a trade today, I can hop on the 2-minute and convince myself that if this 2-minute fair value gap inverses, that we have to run this low R, LR, right? Oh my gosh. We have all these stacked lows. If we inverse this 2-minute, we had 3 drive. We swept out this high. We have good risk to reward. We can risk, 20 points, and we can target 52 points, and then we can target and hold runners lower. And yes, it's like we do have a 3 drive. We do have a liquidity sweep, right? Maybe we have an SMT. I don't have ES up right now. Maybe these things happen. Maybe this 2-minute does break, and maybe we do run these lows. But you have to recognize days like today, right? Is this really worth risking money on a day like today, right? You can paper trade it. I'm going to maybe paper trade. I'm probably going to paper trade this setup, right? Because this is the most clear and obvious setup of the day, even because it's the 2-minute chart and the first fair value gap on the 2-minute all day. The first fair value gap on the 2-minute all day, and we're at 11 a.m. How many 1-minute fair value gaps have we created? And this is the thing I want you guys to notice about NQ, is that you might create a little bit of imbalance in the 1-minute, but a real trick, if you don't want to just be a 5-minute person, because I like to see, are we making any gaps on the 5-minute? If you're not, it's kind of a red flag. And I stand by that. But if you go on the 2 minute and you're not making an imbalance, then it's definitely a red flag, because again, the 1 minute you'll sneak some imbalances, right? We have one here, kind of here, 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 right? Kind of here, here, right here. So you get imbalances, but when you look at the 2 minute and you notice that there is literally one all day, it definitely tells you a lot about price action. And then on the 3 minute, we have one, right? The same spot. So I will take that on paper. And if it works, it works. But if it doesn't work, it's fine, right? Because we're recognizing the conditions. And that's the thing, is that if this trade does work, even though it's a setup, right? And it doesn't mean that because it works, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't have worked, or that's not good. But what it does mean is that it means that we did our job. We recognize that the conditions, we recognize that, it's not worth losing on a day like today. It's not worth taking a losing trade. So why would we put ourselves in the position to get hurt on a trade? And I swear, if we don't close, you know what? Let's just act like that's good enough, right? Let's just act like it closes. If it doesn't end up closing, then it's paper, right? It's not the end of the world. So, and while I'm talking, I guess we'll have this trade play out for you guys, and I'll put my stop at realistically this high here, but we'll just leave it here with some room just because it's paper. This low resistance liquidity, I want to see it all get ran. So since I'm on paper, I would say that my first take profit would really be, I would definitely go break even at this low. Reason being is that with there being low RLR, right? When this low gets hit, we really shouldn't just soup this and have any reaction. We should take this low out, then take these, and then it should fuel us to keep getting this low. So this will be my first take profit. My first take profit, I will scale definitely 5. I'll scale half the position at that low, and this is a nice follow through. And again, I can recognize that this is a good setup, and I can recognize it and see it play out, but I don't have to feel any kind of way, right, when we don't benefit from it on our actual account, right? Because, and let me make sure that I'm not on my account. I'm on the practice, good. Even though it would be kind of nice to be up, but we're on the practice, which is good. I would have just closed the trade if we were not, regardless, or just, we would have just closed the trade because that would be going against my rules. And notice, I even got into this trade technically early. We didn't get a close, but when it's like that, I can kind of, give myself some freedom, right? We're about to close here, and I'll just get a way worse position to fill. This is a strong wick. Notice, again, we're just building more LR, which is not the best to see. This is not a great reaction, but again, this is a paper trading account. So then my next take profit, I will sell 3 at this low, and then we let our runners, so that's going to be $500 there, and we let our runners go to the extended low, and then, if it got down there, that's probably enough. Maybe we extend our take profits even further, but we got our close below now. We actually are in a valid trade. We have a 2 minute fair value gap above us, so I'll actually just keep this video. I'll walk through kind of me managing this trade, but while I continue to talk. So again, are you a trader or are you a gambler, right? This setup today, right, is valid. It's good. It's good to paper. It's good to practice. Good read price. But if I were to take this trade, this one specifically is a lot better than the ones earlier, right? Because of what I said, this is the only fair value gap on the 2 minute. We have a clear 3 drive. The draw on liquidity could be lower. The only higher time frame PD rate is this 1 hour imbalance that we are delivering from. So that is we're delivering from consequent encroachment. We have some 30s stacked up there. We have an SMT with ES here. So there is a lot of confluences with this trade. So again though, but it's just, that would be me being a gambler trying to take this trade. And again, if you take this trade and you had high conviction with it, this trade setup by all means is good, not just because it's in profit right now, but just because of everything I was just saying. It's actually in a better high time frame imbalance. We have a liquidity sweep. We actually have some sort of displacement, and then displacement through it. So now I want to start seeing these things get ran very quickly. I should go break even here, but I'm not really sure. I'll probably just mitigate risk, keep my stop here above that fair value gap, right? Because we should follow through here. We will definitely go break even at that low. And it should flush through. What time is right now? We're in the macro, 11:06. We have about 4 minutes left. I want to see it run in this macro. Would be really nice. And I'm just going to get rid of this LR because we can clearly see it, the break even as well. And maybe I could have scaled some there. Let me see how many points that is. 26 points. I mean, you could, but it's also paper, so it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, me taking this trade would be me trying to just push a button, me trying to just make some money, me trying to force something, right? Because there will be better setups than this a lot of times, right? There's no reason to stress myself out. Take a setup here, use the mental capital to, hold through this and be confident whenever we saw price action like this earlier. But notice how when 11 a.m. opens, we're starting to get more of a price run, right? We don't know yet. We have 3 minutes till this closes. But if this does close bearish, then we will get a 5-minute imbalance. Or if it doesn't go up any higher, we'll have a 5-minute imbalance. So we're starting to get actual movement in price action, which is obviously good to see when you're in the market. So the market's just now starting to kind of tip its hand that it's ready to start being more effective. It looks like our take profits is about to come in soon. I would again expect it to be ran in the macro, which would be at 11:10. So we have about 2.5 minutes. So I would like to see this next candle reach into this new week opening gap. And then if we hit this low, we really should start taking off. We have equal lows now here. This could just be because the micro NQ contract could just be a little bit bugged. Sometimes it shows equal lows and the NQ doesn't. Yeah, so there is actual equal lows, so I would want to see this fair value gap hold and send price lower for the end of the macro. I would like to see price in lower and displace lower through the rest of this macro the last 2 minutes. A close below here would be very, very strong. But yeah, so I have no type of dissatisfaction with not taking this trade. I have no type of FOMO or greed or disappointment that I didn't get to do this on my actual account. Would I have loved to have been able to do this on my eval? Yes, I would love to be up. I wouldn't be up this much because I wouldn't take this much size, but yes, I would love to be in a $500 trade on my evaluation account with the potential to make a lot more. I would absolutely love that. It would be fantastic. But that's just not, that's just not the way trading works, right? The way trading works isn't that you just, you're always going to find opportunities that are perfect for your setup, right? It's preserving capital over everything else. And that's something I'm having to get better at. Because it is scary, right? It is scary that if what if this is the best trade of the week, right? Which it's not going to be. First of all, it's not going to be the best trade of the week. And second of all, it's just not going to be the best trade of the week, which is the one thing I have to accept. And it's not going to be the last time a trade ever pans out. And it's not going to be, like all these different things you have to understand is that, it's not going to be the end. It's not going to be the last time a trade works. If this trade works out, it's not the end. It's not going to never repeat. It's never going to not come back. If anything, it should build the confidence that, okay, I actually did find a nice trade. This was actually, a pretty good price run. And price kind of did exactly what you expected in the moment. Right, with this macro closing, it's kind of annoying that we haven't ran even this low yet. But this gives me confidence we'll go lower. But who knows, with how choppy the price action was, maybe we do revisit this, or maybe revisit this 5-minute imbalance that's about to open up. Right now we have a 5 minute, so this is a 5-minute imbalance now. I would like to see price hold. Hold the imbalance, and let's see what we do. So we haven't tapped it yet. Maybe we leave it as a breakaway, but yeah, I mean, I don't really want to just keep this video going if price just chops around for 45 minutes. You guys obviously will know how this trade plays out, but again, I think today is an important video. It's not a sexy video. It's not a really fun video. It's not really a fun day, but these are days where you get better. And look, I don't want this setup to fail because it doesn't matter to me if it fails or not. But I actually would invite failure because then it reinforces the fact that even the best setup of the day, right, where you expect price to run in a certain direction, it's still just choppy, right? There's no reason to turn on a dime on this low. There really just is no reason for price action to do this. If we do displace after putting this high and we displace through this lower, I will move my stop loss to break even, because I think this was just to stop everyone out of their position, I believe, but I won't move prematurely since it is just paper. There's nothing on the line. This fair value gap would need to get ran through, and then I could move my stop loss to this high. But yeah, I mean, again, even the best setup of the day, in my opinion, look how kind of just sloppy the price run is. There's just really no type of follow through. We're just holding this area, and we're still just consolidating on the bigger time on the time frames. So again, I will leave you guys there. I will not be trading my eval account, but I will come back and trade paper in the PM. The reason why I will be doing that is because, again, we didn't get good price action during the morning, so maybe PM gives opportunity. And the reason why I'm not going to even consider taking my actual account is because I'm trying to build up that patience and that discipline, right? So if I don't find something in the morning session, I don't have a problem coming back in the PM, but I don't want to get used to just, oh, I didn't find a setup, so I have to take a trade later, or I'm going to come in and make money. It's none of that. I don't worry about making money, not making money. I'm just showing up and getting better in the PM, reading price action better, and continuing improving, right? So today is a great day. We literally cannot lose today. We literally can't lose because we're not going to take a trade. So out of the 5 days of this trading week, we already have one great day, which is, again, it's not sexy because we made $0, but we made a lot of winning decisions in the long run, and this will just, continuously build on our discipline and our skill set, and we'll eventually get those winning days and stack those winning days and pass the accounts and get the payouts that we want. We just have to keep committed to the process and keep showing up every single day, getting better. So I appreciate everyone that watched these videos. Let me know if you guys found any great setups in here. Please let me know if I'm wrong, because I very well could be wrong. There could have been great opportunities all in the market today. Again, I'm not even being sarcastic. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is obviously just this channel is for me to document how I view price action and stuff I learn, stuff I see. So it never has to agree with you, right? That's the one thing I want when people watch these videos, especially the more people that watch these. I never have to agree with you. You never have to agree with me, and we can both win, right? So don't take everything I say with a grain of salt, because you only will know your own experience, and you will only know price action based on what you've seen and what you know. So don't take anything I say, oh, today wasn't a good day. Don't take that as gospel. Don't say, oh, if I didn't see anything, then, and why did I take something, or why did I like this trade? Do not fall into that trap. That is the trap with trading. It's very difficult. So anytime someone has a different opinion than you, you might think that you're doing something wrong, right? When everyone can have their own opinion in the markets, right? But besides that, don't want to keep talking. You guys obviously know how this will play out, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you guys had a great day. Go do something fun, go be active, go work out or something, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.